Hi, I'm Kim and I'm here in beautiful Los Cabos, Mexico. I'm so glad that you're joining me here today for yoga. We're going to be focusing on a yin practice that has to do with heart openers. So let's get started. You may want to have a rolled up blanket or a towel handy and a mat, and we'll get going. We're going to work our way all the way down to the floor. So if you would, you can turn sideways, maybe separate your feet a little bit. Start to bend your knees and reach one hand towards the earth. Bring one knee down and then the other. And we'll come all the way to seated. So sweep your legs out to the side and then bring them around in the front. You can sit cross-legged, legs extended, or you're welcome to sit in a chair today, whatever feels right for your body. We're going to open the practice by doing a little bit of breath work to center ourselves. So you can rest your hands on your knees or in your lap. Gently close the eyes and start to invite the breath in a little more fully. If it feels comfortable, you can breathe through the nose, or if you prefer, the mouth. And we'll start to lengthen the inhale and the exhale. Noticing the rise and fall of your chest as you expand the breath. And exhaling. Just a few more breaths, just inviting your attention into this moment. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Softening the face and belly. And we'll invite one more full breath in through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Gently open your eyes, and we'll stay seated here. If you're sitting in a chair, you can move your body up towards the edge of the chair. Grab onto your knees, and we're just going to use our knees as leverage to roll the shoulders down the back. So notice my shoulder heads, they're rolling open and then down. Grabbing onto the knees, using that as leverage. Look at your belly and lift the belly up towards the ribs lift up towards the chest, all the way through the crown of the head. Push down into your seat with your flesh of your bottom and rise up into the sky. Notice that nice broadening in the shoulders and the chest. And then we'll bring our arms out to the side, thumbs point up. So arms are lower than the shoulders. Reach the fingertips nice and wide like you're radiating a sun. And then draw the pinkies back a little bit. So opening up the chest, take a deep breath into your heart center. Exhale here. Inhale again. Exhale, release all the way down. Relax the shoulders. Let's try it again. So we'll have our arms out to the side, hands are lower than the shoulders. Take a deep breath into your heart center and then bring your hands maybe back behind just a little till you feel sensation. A nice heart opener here. Take a deep breath into the center. Exhale here. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Relax the hands all the way down. Roll the shoulders back and down the back. Good. One more time around. Let's plant the left hand to the left side. If you're sitting in a chair, you can actually grab onto the left side of the chair. Bring your right hand to your right side of your head, near your ear. Your elbow points out wide. So right hand to right ear, elbow is bent, and we're just gonna lean over to the side. You can bend your supporting arm, elbow points up towards the sky. And take a deep breath here into your side body. Expand from the hip all the way up through the ribs and armpit. Inhale. Exhale, come back to center. Stay with your hand on your head. Let's do it again. Take it over to the side. Inhale. Grounding down with your right hip towards the earth. Take a deep breath here. Exhale, come back to center. And we'll do it one more time. Take it over to the side, open up that side body. Take a deep breath. And then this time you might want to shine your heart open towards the sky just a little bit, rotating the upper body. And then coming back to center and release all the way down. Let's try the other side, so you can bring your hand to your head if it feels better, on your shoulder, whatever feels good for you today. Elbow points out wide, fingertips are up, and then plant that right hand. Let's take it over, opening up the left side body this time. Take a deep breath here. Exhale. Come back to center. Let's do it again. Bend the supporting arm, take it over, deep inhale up the left side body this time. Exhale, come back to center. Let's try it one more time. Inhale, bend the elbow. And then if you'd like, maybe shine your heart up towards the sky just a little bit, very subtle. Inhale here. Exhale, take it back down, relax the arms, roll the shoulders back and down. And we're gonna get into a gentle twist. We'll take the left hand towards the right knee, reach that right hand back behind you, and turn your chest just a little bit to face the knee. Your head is in alignment with your heart to start. And then we'll relax the shoulders away from the ears, look over the back shoulder. Drop your left shoulder down away from the ear. And then you can stay with your body here and look over your front shoulder. Opening up the neck a little bit. And slowly unwind. Let's do the opposite side. So we'll take the right hand, bring it across to the left knee. Reach back behind you with that left hand. Your chest is in alignment with your knee. And then your head is in alignment with your heart. Relax the shoulders away from the ears, and then you can look over the back shoulder if it feels comfortable for your neck. Relax those shoulders down. Stay here with the upper body, and you can turn your head to look over your front shoulder. And just take a few breaths here. Unwind. So we're going to use our towel or blanket today to go right behind our heart. We're going to come to laying down on the ground, and you can unroll the blanket as much as you need to in order to make it good for you. So if you're feeling a little tight in your heart and your chest area, you may want to unroll the blanket or keep it fully rolled. If you're seated, you can sit up nice and tall, and I'll direct you where to go from there. So I'm going to bring the towel or blanket maybe 1/3 from the edge of my mat, and then I'm going to come to sweep my legs around me and start to scoot myself down, planting my hands, and we'll come to down onto our side and then rolling over onto our back so that the blanket is right behind our heart. You may have to adjust the blanket a little bit right behind the heart, and then slowly make your way back down. So if it feels like your throat is open a little too much, feel free to put a blanket under or a pillow under your head. And if you're seated, you can just reach back behind you, chest is lifted, and reach the hands to grab the back part of the chair. To roll the shoulders open, thumbs are up. For us on the floor, we're going to stay here for several breaths, just allowing gravity to do its work. But before we do that, let's bend the knees, plant the feet a little bit closer to the glutes, lift the hips an inch or so off the mat, and then move your hips more towards your heels to traction off the spine. Slowly lower down. Relax the arms along your side. I like my palms up, but feel free to bring your hands in any direction that you want. And just allow yourself to invite the breath right into your heart center. Inhale here, and exhale. One more time, inhale, and exhale. So you can stay here with the arms, or if you want a little bit more sensation, let's bring the hands and elbows to touch. So arms are bent, elbows are bent, And you can bring your hands together. We'll lift the elbows towards the sky and open up to cactus arms. So totally up to you if that feels good for your shoulder. If it's a little bit tight, you can always drop the elbows down a little bit. Same thing for people that are seated in your chair, bringing the elbows in front of you and then opening up to cactus, drawing the hands back behind you. And just taking a few breaths here, allowing your hands to feel very heavy. If they don't make it all the way to the earth, that's okay. Just feeling like you have some heavy grapefruits in your hands and your hands are weighted towards the earth. Invite the breath into your heart center. Take a deep breath into that space, expand. Exhale, soften. One more breath here. Inhale. And exhale. And we'll slowly bring the elbows back together and then along your side. Let's roll all the way over to one side and move the blanket out of the way. So I'm going to move the blanket towards the top of my mat and then come to laying flat on my back for a moment and just spend some time, just notice how your body comes back to neutral. So if you're seated, you're just seated in a neutral space. Gently close the eyes and notice with that heart opener how our body starts to fall back into a natural space. So from here, we'll bring our arms along our side. And feet are planted. You can bring your heels a little bit closer to your glutes. Knees are bent. Push into the backs of the arms and then bring your palms facing each other. So the backs of the arms are pushing into the mat and you might feel your chest start to rise up. If you're seated in a chair, again, you can grab on towards the back side of the chair to open up the chest, roll the thumbs up towards the sky. And my heart is starting to open even with this small move with my back of my arms pushing down into the mat. And now if you'd like, you can either stay here or push into the feet, lift the hips just a few inches off the mat, open up to a low bridge. When you're ready, you can move your hips more towards your heels and leave your shoulder blades where they are, traction out the spine and then lower down in one piece. Relax the arms down. Let's try it again. Push into the backs of the arms. Lift the chest. Allow the chest to rise in between the shoulder blades and then push the feet up. And lift the hips. Take a deep breath here. Move the hips more towards your heels and then slowly lower all the way down. Relax the arms along your side. Pause for just a moment here. And we're going to come to a fetal position on the left side. So we'll come all the way over onto our left side. Hug the knees into the chest. If you need a blanket or a pillow or a towel underneath your head, feel free to do so. Knees are tucked in and stacked one on top of the other. We're going to have the arms straight out to the side. If you're seated, you can sit up nice and tall and allow the right hand to come to the left knee into a gentle twist, reaching back with the left hand towards the back of the chair. And we're just going to take our fingertips here and glide them on the inside of the arm all the way across the chest and then roll our arm open to the side into a gentle twist. We're going to come back the reverse with the back of our fingertips dragging along the chest and into the inside of the arm. So when we do this, that very gentle touch of the arm, we are allowing our proprioceptors to be turned on. So let's drag the arm all the way across and open. And then take it back again, nice and slow, dragging that arm across and take it back. Good. Let's do it one more time here. Open up. And back to center. This time we're just going to open up like a book into a twist. So if your arm feels like it's hanging out there, you can bring your hand to your hip, relax your elbow. And if you're seated, just staying in that gentle twist. Noticing the knees stacked one on top of the other. Allowing your legs to feel very heavy. The right shoulder starts to roll open over time. Taking a deep breath from your hip all the way to your armpit. Expand. Exhale, maybe allowing that left shoulder blade to move a little bit more to the left, getting into the twist. Letting that right shoulder drop more towards the earth. And just one more breath here. And exhale. Slowly bring that arm back to center. Pause for a moment, rolling towards your back. Plant the feet. If you're seated, you can unwind here. Come back to a neutral spine. Just close the eyes for a moment. Settle in. Noticing any differences from right to left. And then we'll take it over to the other side. So taking it over to the right side, stack the knees in a fetal position. You can have your arms extended out in front of you. And then we'll gently drag our fingertips to the inside of the arm, cross the chest, open up out to the side. And then in reverse, the backs of the fingertips go across the chest and roll back. Let's do that a few more times. Dragging the fingertips, turning on the proprioceptors in the arm, the heart, the chest. And then as we exhale, dragging the fingertips back. One more time, just like this. Open up, rolling to the back of the head, open up the arm. And then in reverse, the backs of the fingertips going across. This time we'll open up like a foot. The top arm opens up out to the side if it feels good, or you can plant it on your hip, whatever feels best for your shoulder. And our knees are stacked one on top of the other. Hips are very heavy, legs heavy to the earth. Take your right shoulder blade, if you'd like a little more sensation, and scoot it more towards the right. Allow your left shoulder to drop down, and it may not touch the earth. That's totally fine. The focus is on the legs being very heavy and grounded. And we'll be here for a few breaths. With every inhale from the hip up to the armpit, expand. Exhale here. Inhale, expand. Exhale, soften. One more inhale. And exhale, bring the arm back over to the side. We'll roll onto our back for a moment. Come to a neutral spine. If you're seated, you can come back to center. And just take a moment here. And then we're going to roll over onto our side again and come onto our belly. So I'm going to move my blanket out of the way. Come all the way onto the belly. And stack your hands one on top of the other. If you're seated, just come to a neutral spine, hands on the knees. From here, we'll lift the back leg and reach them back behind us, lengthening one and then the other. Back behind us. Separate the feet nice and wide out to the edges of the mat. Your knees can be nice and wide if you're seated, grabbing onto the knees. And then from here, we're going to push the forearms down and just lift with the back of the head. The face comes off the hands. So noticing the forearms, we'll feel like the forearms are pulling towards our chest to open up the shoulders, expand the heart a little bit. If you're seated, hands on knees, roll the shoulder blades down the back and open up the chest. And then exhale, release all the way down. Let's do it again. Face comes off the hands. Feel like the forearms are pulling towards the chest. Open up the ribs, the belly. And then notice where my gaze is. It's at the top of the mat, so I'm not looking down or up. My head is very neutral. My chin is tucked in. And then release all the way down. Relax the head. One more time, face comes up off the mat, pulling the forearms towards the chest, belly lengthens, and then release all the way down. We'll come up onto our forearms now. So coming up onto the forearms, if you're seated, you can keep your hands on your knees. The elbows are directly underneath the shoulders, palms are out, and fingertips spread nice and wide. Feel like your elbows are dragging back. Your legs feel very heavy towards the earth. Push down into the forearms, come out of the shoulders, and then notice my gaze again. It's not down or up. My head's neutral, my chin's drawn in. Feet are nice and wide if you need a little bit more space in the low back. You can even roll the heels wide. And take a deep breath into the heart center. Inhale here. And exhale. One more time. Inhale here. Exhale, release all the way down. Stack the hands, forehead on the hand. If you're seated, come back to a neutral spine. And we'll try this one more time, coming up onto the forearms. This time we'll clasp the hands. Elbows are nice and wide. Fingertips are clasped. Our forearms are pressing down into the earth. And we'll feel like our fists are dragging back. If you're seated, again, grabbing onto the knees, roll the shoulders open. Notice my neutral head, my chin is drawn in, lengthening through the back of the cervical spine. Heels are rolled wide, feet are wide, giving me and you a lot of space in the low back. And gently close the eyes, take a deep breath into your heart center. And exhale, release all the way down, forehead to the mat. And then we'll bring our hands underneath our shoulders, feet come back together. We're gonna push up to hands and knees. And then we'll bring our knees nice and wide, toes to touch, sit back towards child's pose. So you can walk your hands in a little bit to start. Bring your forehead towards the earth. If you need a blanket or a pillow underneath your forehead or behind your knees, feel free to do so. If you're seated, you can fold forward over your legs, planting your hands on your thighs. And we're gonna sweep our hands back behind us, fingertips point back. Allow the shoulders to soften around the legs. Your belly falls in between the shoulders. And just take a few breaths here. Inhale into the back body, expand. Exhale, soften. One more time, inhale, expand. Exhale, soften. And let's come back to hands and knees for a moment. We're gonna do a gentle weaving of the arm. So the right hand weaves underneath the left arm, and we're gonna come to the outer edge of our right shoulder, right cheek. And if you'd like, plant that left hand. Notice your left hip, drag it back, open up the side body. If you're seated, you can allow your right hand to drop down, left shoulder to draw up, and open up the side body. Coming back to center, plant both hands. And we'll try the other side. So this time, left hand weaves through the right arm. Come to the outer edge of your left cheek this time. Plant your right hand down. Elbow points up. Hips are up. Draw that right hip back. If you're seated, you can drop that left shoulder down. Right shoulder comes up, and open up the side body on the right side. Take a deep breath here. Come back to center, plant both hands, come back. And we're gonna take it all the way down onto our back again. So come to seated to one side, and we'll slowly lower all the way down. Scooting ourselves down to the fetal position. And then onto our back, rolling all the way onto the back. Knees are bent. If you're seated, coming back to neutral. We're going to extend the legs all the way down below us and separate our feet nice and wide out to the edges of the mat. And then from here, taking our right hand and dragging it down a little bit lower towards the right side. Your left shoulder blade comes up, opening up the side body. Take that left leg, bring it alongside your right leg. So we're starting to make a C shape with the body. Noticing that our left side starts to open. If you want a little bit more sensation, you can take your left hand to your left shoulder and point the elbow up, opening up that whole left side. And if you want a little bit more sensation, you can take your left ankle and cross it over your right knee. So if you're seated, grab onto the chair with your right hand and bring your left hand onto your left shoulder and point that elbow up towards the sky. Open up the whole side body. We'll be here for a few breaths. Take a deep breath here from your left ankle all the way up to the left side. Exhale, back down. Inhale, left ankle all the way up to the elbow, armpit. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. And we'll release the arms all the way down. Bring your shoulder blades back to neutral. Uncross the ankles, separate the feet from right to left, nice and wide. And just pause for a moment, noticing any differences from right to left. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Feet are nice and wide off the mat. If you're seated, grab onto the left side of the chair. And we're gonna start to drop that left hand a little bit lower. The left shoulder blade lowers, the right shoulder blade comes up. And we'll bring our right leg towards our left leg this time, making a C in the opposite side. Take your right hand to your right shoulder, elbow points up, open up the whole side body. And if you're seated, again, bring that right hand to the right shoulder and lean over to the left. If you want more sensation, you can cross your right ankle over the left ankle. And we're just going to be here for a few breaths, expanding in the ribs. And exhale. One more deep breath here. And exhale. Let's try it again. From the left ankle, inhale all the way up the side body. And release. Come back to a neutral spine. Relax the arm. Shoulder blades come back to center. Uncross the ankles. Feet nice and wide. We'll have our arms along our side. Palms face up. And pause for just a moment and notice any sensations within the body. And we're going to move into Shavasana, allowing our breath to start to slow. If you're seated, you can just gently close the eyes, get into a comfortable seat. And just focusing with every inhale and every exhale in this resting pose. The heart lifting and lowering, the chest expanding and contracting. And we'll be here for just a couple more breaths. Allowing the inhale to fill the body. And then exhale fully. Start to move the fingers and toes, the ankles and wrists, waking up the body. And we'll hug the knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice hug. If you're seated, you can just wrap your arms around your body. Give yourself a literal hug. And then we'll roll over to one side. Push into our hands and make our way all the way up to seated. So we'll finish the practice by doing just a little bit of breath work. You can relax your hands in your lap, get into any comfortable seat you want. Gently close the eyes. And we're gonna run the breath from our seat and then direct it right into our heart, expanding. So if we roll the shoulders down and back, opening up the chest, giving ourselves a little bit of leverage by holding onto our knees. Lifting our heart center and take a deep breath into that space. Expand fully. Exhale, softening the heart. Inhale, expand, lifting the low belly. Exhale, soften. Inhale deeply now into the back of the heart. Expand in all directions. And exhale. One more breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Relax your concentration. Let's bring the hands to heart center in a prayer-like pose. Touch the thumbs into the heart. Lift the heart back up into the thumbs. And take a moment to surrender your thinking mind to your feeling heart. Expansive, welcoming, compassionate. Namaste. I'm so happy that you joined me here today. Let's make our way all the way up to standing. We'll lean over to one side and we'll sweep our legs out behind us. Come to hands and knees. And then bring one foot forward. Reach down with that opposite hand and then curl your toes, lift your back knee, scoot your back foot up, and then plant your hands on your knees, rise all the way up to standing. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I'm Kim. We are in Los Cabos, Mexico on this beautiful day. I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.